Hey folks, Frank the Pestgeek here. Well, we've got a major problem that we're trying to solve for a client. Let me get off of this road that is kind of bumpy. We did a rodent trapping, rodent exclusion service in a 100-year-old house here in Coral Gables, Florida. This has been, the whole process took it's been about now, almost 4 months. And we did the trapping because he was having lots of rats in this house. This is a house that originally was built in 1920, 24, 25. And it's had 2 additions added onto it, including a second story. And it's had 2 additions, and there is some plumbing issue that they found on one side of the house, and there was damage to the pipes. And we've sealed everything that if my finger will fit through it. And we found it. We've been up on ladders, up on the roof. We found places that weren't even exposed, that couldn't be found. We've been about the guy spent already about $3,000 with us to get this done. And he's still getting a rat in the attic periodically, and we're trapping it. I mean, we're there. Every time he calls, we're there. Most companies right now in Florida would have just said, look, you need to hire structural engineers and this and that, and we'll just keep trapping, and not our business. This is not something that we can solve. Let me see if I can get this a little bit more stable, because the camera is shaking an awful lot. Let me see if I get that. So I'm on my way over there now. We're going to be doing a smoke test in this house, and the reason we can't, you can't find somebody, a plumbing company or anybody really that wants to do it. Miami-Dade is really tough. I got a friend who is up in Boca. Actually, he's a little bit further than that. He says we just had to get our own smoke machine because we couldn't find anybody else to do it. It's a nightmare in South Florida. Most guys want to use cameras. The problem is with cameras, I've seen them fail, where they couldn't find the exact place where this was happening for some reason. I'm not a plumbing expert, but I know if there's smoke and you get the smoke in there and there's an opening and you do a good job, you're going to find it. So, we did the same thing. We developed our own non-toxic smoke machine because a lot of these old houses are going to have a lot of leaky areas, and we don't know, and we don't want any of that in the home smelling or anything like that. So we built our own. And we're going to go over there now, and I'm going to do a smoke test again in that house. And I'm going to do a smoke test in that attic to see if we see anything coming out of somewhere that we couldn't see it. It's got 7 stack pipes in that house, all over the place. We even sealed the stack pipes. We put we made the little cages with the AAC material that we use for the vents. We made it. None of them have been removed. Air conditioning line sets. Anything that was vented that came out of a wall that didn't have a vent for some type of vent that was there. The kitchen vent had one. Sealed. Crawl space. Sealed. It doesn't have a sewer, which is what's stomping us, because that house in that area has a septic tank. Question is, my thing is going to be, did rats get trapped in there and get trapped in the crawl space? We already had one of those situations where the guy had so much water leaking in the home and he had dog food everywhere that the rats got trapped inside after we did the exclusion, and they just came out through the house, and we were still catching rats after. Then it basically took forever to catch this adult male rat. And we had another situation in a house where the rat had been in there so long because there's so much food and stuff in that house and bird seeds and just a nightmare that the rat just was able to live there. We found the nest where we pulled out. We're going to be doing a documentary on this pretty soon, that we filmed it for this client. Could never afford to get this sealed off, done, trapped. This lady, you know, you're dealing with emotional issues and you're dealing with psychological issues. And we just decided, we partner up with another company and said, look, you know, let's just give them the service and take care of this little old lady who obviously has had a lot of things go wrong in her life. And she works, she has a job, she lives by herself with parrots, you know, I mean, things that you know you can't do anything about. All you can do is solve the problem for them. But this particular client has us stumped. We never had a situation where we've been gone back 3 and 4 times to figure out where it's coming out of, to keep trapping rats. And it isn't like we're trapping 5 or 6. It's like 1 rat a month. Like, where the hell is this rat getting in from? The house has a chimney, but it's in the attic right near the place where the chimney is. So we're thinking maybe there's a break in the chimney. They're crawling down. We don't know. I mean, we're trying to, this is one of those where it makes you scratch your head, makes your head hurt, and you have no clue. Everything you know about rodent proofing and rodent exclusion and rodent behavior, you know, most people, most companies I know would have given up already. They would have said, look, we're just not going to keep coming back for free. I know we charged you, you know, whatever. I mean, but we're not going to give up on our client. You know, client pays on time, doesn't give us any grief. He's not even upset about it, which is the funny part. I'd be upset. This guy's not even upset. This guy, like, bro, I understand this house has been put together. It's a 100-year-old house. You know, very affluent. He's not even upset. He's the kindest person, which is what even bothers me even more, because if the people would just be rude and nasty, you'd be like, screw it, I'll just give you your money back and walk away. I could care less. But when somebody, you know, is working with you and is agreeing, and you know, he hears we got permanent traps now in that attic, and that's a monthly service. The thing is, this house is so surrounded by live oak trees and coconut trees and palm trees that there's millions of seed on the ground. There hasn't been in 6 months that we took on the original rodent trapping. We set up stations that they've even gone into the stations to eat in 6 months. The rats are there. He sees them walking all over the yard. The neighbor sees them walking all over the place. You know, I'm figuring there's one broken tile on the roof. I'm wondering, man, could he get through there? But then I go inside, crawl into the the attic, and I look, and no wood is damaged. We see the droppings. We go into this part of the attic. He hears them in that area. The only area he hears them in is on that 2nd floor on the flat roof. It's a flat roof house too on top of that. There's no attic space. There's only a little tiny one at the front end of the house, which is original to the house. I mean, it would make a cool little, you know, if you sealed it off, it would make a cool little dollhouse for somebody, for a kid to play in, if they finished it. It's in this closet. Darndest thing, bro. We're just scratching our head on, you know, we've got these old, you know, Spanish vents that were round, made out of, you know, terracotta or whatever, or clay. We sealed those off. We installed vents in there that you can't remove. There is, like, I can't for the life of me figure this one out. The only thing I got left to draw on is I'm going to do a smoke test, see if anything comes out in that area. I'm going to do an attic smoke test to see, let the smoke rise inside that attic, and see if it comes out of somewhere, out of that chimney that we can't look down into, can't see it. It is open. The chimney is open. The chimney has not been capped, but nothing's ever crawled into the house through there. It's always in the attic area. So I'm stumped. I don't know if you guys got any idea you can shed on this. I'm going to be shooting footage of this, and I've done it in the past. This is one of those houses that has continued to stomp us. This is Frank the Pest Geek, wishing you a pestacular day.